Yo guys, what's going on? It's Argon here. Today I'm bringing you a video, my review of the Call of Duty World War II beta. Hopefully you guys had a chance to play it. If you did, what'd you guys think? Me personally, I did enjoy, but what I'm going to talk to you about today in this video are the 5 things that I didn't like about the beta. And I'm going to try and be constructive. Hopefully it's something that you guys consider. Think about what I'm saying. Maybe what are your own thoughts? Just let me know what you guys think below in the comments as usual. So I put these in order of importance to me in the things that I did not like. And the first thing that I did not like, the most important thing that I did not like, is the division system. Now, if you guys don't know, the division systems basically replaces the class setups from previous Call of Duties. What they did was they basically tried to balance out the classes already. You know how you have the the default classes when you first get the game? It's basically like one step past that in terms of customization. Like you can pick a weapon, but you can't get into full customization like a pick 10 or pick 13 system. I don't like that at all because it reduces the ability to get creative with your classes. For me, I think that this is done to, I'm not sure exactly why they did this. I think they wanted to a better balanced gameplay by making you select divisions in order to restrict your classes certain ways so that the gameplay would flow a certain way that they wanted to prevent OP class setups. In my opinion, that's not a good way to balance a game. When you do something like that, like they did at the start of IW with the weapons selection for the competitive play, that to me is a way, it's almost like a cop-out for you to say that I didn't balance the game properly, therefore I fear that everybody's going to run the same class, and I need to prevent that by splitting up the popular perks amongst different divisions so that people play with different classes. I don't really think that's fair for us as users, as players. I can't really fault Sledgehammer because, as you know, obviously in Advanced Warfare, they had a pretty OP setup with their weapons. The Bal 27 and of course the ASM were super OP. I just don't like the division setup. It's just not enough there in terms of creativity that you can get with your classes. It'll just get boring real quick. So when you guys get your hands on it, you guys will see. The second thing that I'm not a big fan of at all is and I've been saying this all along since I saw first gameplay of it, was the limited sprint. I think that every Call of Duty should have unlimited sprint. It's just too far in the game's life cycle for us to say that we want a slow pace as where you have to, stop, regain your health, sprint again. I just think that slows the game down a lot, and in a game where we don't have jetpacks, you can't boost around the map very quickly. You need at least the unlimited sprint to be able to run, and that should just be a built-in perk. I know a lot of people that are against this would say that, it messes up with the timings and everything, but I don't know how that's possible. If I'm playing S&D, I know how fast somebody sprints. I can time them from spawn to where they would get to certain spots. I would know that amount of time because it's a consistent sprint. If they have this weird thing where some of them have endurance, some of them don't, you don't know exactly how long every time. There's some more variability there than if everybody's sprinting. So I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it. Mostly for pub matches, it's going to slow down the gameplay a lot. One thing I noticed during the beta was I would spawn way in the back of the map, and then I'd have to by the time I get to the fight, I don't even have any sprint left. So and then you could just die instantly and just have to do it all over again. It's just really frustrating, makes the game slow. I don't like it at all. Hopefully they change it, and that's definitely the second thing that bothered me the most. The third thing that bothered me the most is the setting of the game. Obviously, World War II. I'm not a big fan of the older games. I just don't like the style. I don't like the weapons. I want more modern weapons, like assault rifles. They don't even call them assault rifles in this game because they weren't assault rifles back then. I'm just not a fan of old technology like that. From a historical setting, I can see, obviously they have to do it. And this kind of dovetails into something else. I know that Sledgehammer is kind of looking at this game as more of like an education, not more, but they're definitely taking advantage of the fact that it's a World War II Call of Duty to, educate people on how the conflict was, what the mindset of the country was, what it was like to actually be in battle. I'm kind of torn about that, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that they want to introduce a lot of people that never even been in the war, obviously, to something that was very, very influential to the way this country developed. And I appreciate that. But at the same time, this is a video game. It's meant for fun. It's not meant for education. So the setting that they've done and a lot of these other features that I have an issue with have to do with the fact that they're aiming for, some type of educational content. I'm just not a fan of that. For me, I would have preferred a newer game. It's not the end of the world. The fourth thing that I'm not a big fan of is the minimap. I'm just not a big fan of the fact that it's small and it's circular. To me, that's really restrictive. I don't like the look of it, and I like the square, rectangular minimaps. It's just better. You get to see more things out in the corner, which is more important to me. I don't know what the main reason was for them to go to a circular minimap, but they did it. I'm not a fan of it. I wish it was bigger. I wish it was square. and it would just make the game better. If you got UAVs up, you'll be able to see things better, and you'll get that input better that you need. And I just said better a lot of times, so I apologize for that. The last thing that I want to throw in there, and I guess this has to do with the setting as well. So it's got to do with the fact that if you guys play the game, you'll hear that there's a lot of, they've gone really overboard in terms of the audio, the sounds of the people screaming. When you try and melee somebody, the guy gets super, grunty, or the girl gets super grunty. When somebody gets lit on fire, they just scream for a really long time. There's a lot of examples of this, and if you guys play it, I don't know how you feel about it. I know it's cool. It would be really cool in the campaign, because I think that would be, the main purpose of it. For me, I just don't like the sound of that. Yeah, the campaign would be cool. It does add to the experience a lot, but the fact that you're going to play, most of us are going to play at least 10 days of game time, 20, 30, some of us that really grind the game out, to just constantly have to hear that over and over again, it'll just get really played out, in my opinion, and really over the top cheesy. Just a personal preference, doesn't really affect the gameplay at all. Just from an aesthetic standpoint, I'm not a big fan of it. So, I don't know if they'll ever tone that down. I think it's part of their gimmick for the game, but it is what it is. So anyway, guys, those are the top 5 things. I tried to say some things that maybe weren't commonly said. I know a lot of them were. But either way, let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you do. The link is in the description of the video below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon. I'll see you next time. Peace.